Ugarte to Manchester United. A shock bid has coming out of nowhere, and we do know from Fabrizio Romano last week that Man United were looking for a number of midfielders. Edson Alvarez was one of them. They want to make a move for DM, which is really important because it's such a key position for me, and they've made a bid for Ugarte. What is the latest on that? Will they go back in? Could a deal be done? There are reports and rumours of a loan with an obligation to buy, but they've made an initial approach to sign Ugarte. We've got more updates coming in that Ten Hag's contract is nearly agreed. It's expected that Ten Hag's contract could be agreed in the coming days, and Van Nistelrooy could come in as part of that. But let's talk about the Ugarte news. Let's talk about the 3 or 4 stories coming out today on that. But first of all, guys, hit that like button if you're new. Subscribe down below. Sorry, hit that like button, please, and do subscribe down below, as hitting the like button really helps the channel. But Ugarte was said by a very good French outlet that Manchester United have made an offer to PSG for Ugarte, which has been rejected. So that was the first story that came out from a decent French source saying we've made an offer now. Man United only make offers to players that they're interested in. But did we really make an offer? Because Sky Sports have said, yeah, we're interested in Ugarte. It's been confirmed. He is a name on our list. We are interested in the player. And Romano did confirm United were going to make approaches for midfielders this week. But we got more info coming out from Sky Sports saying that Manchester United made an initial approach for PSG's Ugarte. He's one of a number of players they're looking at in that area. As it stands, no formal offer has been made, but discussions are ongoing internally over the next steps. But then you have Ben Jacobs saying that PSG have rejected an offer from Man United for Manuel Ugarte, and it was dismissed quickly as it wasn't close to the club's valuation, and there's several suitors interested in Ugarte. So, mixed reports, but one thing has been confirmed, and that is that Manchester United are interested in signing Manuel Ugarte. They're looking at a number of midfielders. My theory is Man United are testing the waters, putting in a lowball bid for Ugarte to see what it would take to bring in Ugarte cost-wise. He could be available for a cut price after a poor season and not being in PSG's plans, but there will be competition for him. I think Man United are testing the waters there with a bid. I think he's one of a number of targets, and I think they'll be looking at value for money among those targets. I know Yusuf Fofana is a target. We know Amadou Onana and Hulman have been targets as well. But out of all those names, I think value for money, Fofana and Weaver are still the best options. But I think Ugarte is a better option than Hulman, despite a poor season with PSG. So let's talk about Ugarte and this deal, because I definitely have a few elements of concern around this deal, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. But I also watched him at Sporting, and when he was at Sporting, I was like, baller. You've got to look at what Man United want and how they want to play. And the Euro expert tweeted this, and I thought it was a really smart tweet. He said, based off his first season at PSG, signing Manuel Ugarte only makes sense if you don't want to be a possession-dominant team. Now, we've had talks of Ineos basically, and Jason Wilcox basically telling Ten Hag he's got to play possession-based football, and Man United coming up with this possession-based style of play, which means Ugarte doesn't really check out with that. Now, at Sporting, he showed elements of he could do it, but he's definitely more of an out-of-possession player. When Kobbie Mainoo is very good in possession, they have potential to partner each other well, and if you have two centre-backs that are very comfortable on the ball, it definitely can work. There's a very good player in Ugarte, and we saw that at Sporting, but there is that question of he's not a possession-dominant player. He's not an out-and-out 6. He can play as a 6, but he's still a double pivot player, but so is Fofana and so is Weaver. There's no real out-and-out 6s on the market right now, and he's not exactly the best progressive passer, which is an element that Man United may want to improve to take the reliance of Kobbie Mainoo being the sole player on the ball in midfield, because McTominay is not a natural ball-playing player. Mason Mount's better out of possession. Maybe United will want a profile better on the ball. If you bring in Ugarte and João Neves, you complement each other well. Now, let's talk about Ugarte in this. Now, I think he's a player that Man United are looking at. We've looked at him, we've looked at Edson Alvarez. I think we're looking at Amadou Onana, we're looking at Hulman. It's clear that we want someone that is very good out of possession, because that was the main weakness with Casemiro, was the out of possession work. He did not have the legs to cover the ground needed to position himself when Man United wanted him. So let's look at Ugarte here. Let's look at the positives. He was brilliant at Sporting, and he's shown from his time at Sporting he can be an elite level player. He could be available for a cut price in a market where we lack options at the number 6 role. He's decent on the ball, and in terms of carrying and dribbling it forward, he can do that. He likes to sort of drive forward with the ball, which shows that he could probably be a number 8. He's got good retention, and he is solid defensively. He's good at winning the ball back. He likes to win the ball. He likes to get stuck in. He's got that high work rate, and he does like to get involved defensively. His strengths can include his power and tenacity, which could work well with Mainoo in a double pivot. If you look at his FBrest statistics, they're not the best. He's not a creative player. He's not going to help you create. But when you've got Kobbie and you've got Bruno, it's not going to be the end of the world, that element of him. Matt Sweefer and Fofana, they're not the craziest creative player, but they are a little bit better statistically. If you look at passes attempted, he gets the ball, he likes to pass, and he plays a lot of safe passes, a lot of short passes. But if you look at progression, you look at carries, he's not the best. He's someone that gets the ball and drives and dribbles, but he's not someone that likes to play the ball forward massively. He is someone, as you can see, 99% off for tackles and 96% off for interception, that wins the ball back. If you get him and then another midfielder that's very good on the ball, very good in possession, it could be good, because we have to because obviously we're just so reliant on Kobbie. He's someone that can do the dirty work. He can unlock the best out of Kobbie Mainoo. He can do the dirty work. I'm for Man United signing Ugarte, but for the right price. I watched him at Sporting. I thought he was brilliant at Sporting. For the right price, I'd get him, but I actually do think elements of it is a risk because of PSG. But I think his ability out of possession, his tackles, his interceptions, 99th and 96th percentile for a team that had a lot of the ball in PSG. If we do want to be a team that has less of the ball, he could be very good at that. So let's compare him to my first two options. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, you'll know I'm a massive fan of Youssouf Fofana and Matt Sweefer. And to be honest, one of the main reasons for that is that they can play as a 6, they can play as an 8, they're good on the ball, they're good off the ball. Ugarte, I think, off the ball is probably the best of these 3 players. But on the ball, I think Sweefer and Fofana offer more. And I know they're available for about 30 million or less, which I think is an absolute bargain. So they are the players I'm most interested in on this list. And you can see Ugarte in the blue. Defensive action-wise, he matches Sweefer, and defensively in terms of duels, he's decent. But if you look at key passes, progressive passes, forward passes, carrying, you can see that Fofana and Sweefer are a level ahead of him. So in possession, what we want to do moving forward, he's not going to help us in possession or become a possession dominant side, and that is the big question mark around that, and that is the big problem around us in terms of possession. And I think we do sometimes need to improve in possession on the ball, but I do think our biggest problem with midfield last season was out possession. It was the structure, it was the space, it was the ground coverage, it was the holes. It was definitely a bigger problem out possession, but I think with ball progression and moving it quicker up the pitch, that's the worry. But if you look at him at Sporting, he was fantastic. And he's shown that he could be an elite level number 6. And I think he can work well with Mainoo. He shows that he can control the ball and retain the ball well. While he's not a natural player at progressing the ball, he's very comfortable on the ball. He doesn't give the ball away a lot. He retains the ball well. He's got good vision. He knows when to play a pass. He's just not a big volume, progressive passer. And he, can contribute to an attacking play. He really lacked that at PSG last season. But at Sporting, we saw elements of him initiate build-up from midfield and contribute to attacking play, which we did not see at PSG last season. He's got a high work rate and a very strong work ethic, which is something that we need in the midfield, the energy, the legs. That was the biggest problem for me. And I think the determination, the energy that he's displayed through matches could be important. And I think his ability to press opponents and win back the ball and work hard will bring elements of what Ten Hag wants to play the way he wants. I think he's versatile. He can play as a DM or a centre midfielder. I think he's best as a pivot player. Don't think he's an out-and-out 6. Don't think he's good enough going forward to be an 8, but is more of an 8. So I think he's definitely a pivot player as well, and has been able to adapt to multiple formations and setups, although at PSG he struggled. I think tactically he's aware. I think he's got a good reading of the game. He is very good defensively, and I think he can provide cover for teammates, and he can help maintain team structure and balance defensively. The question marks about him on the ball. But, for the right price or with a loan with an obligation to buy, I'm open to this. Let me know your thoughts down below. Now, this last story that I want to get into is on Ten Hag's contract agreement. It's been said by Fabrizio Romano that Erik Ten Hag is set to sign a new contract at Manchester United as the deal is now almost agreed. The contracts are advancing to the final stage this week, and his agents are to finalise terms. As Erik Ten Hag's contract negotiations enters final stage, there will be changes in staff, with Ruud van Nistelrooy as a strong candidate. So Fabrizio Romano is saying that Erik Ten Hag is about to sign his new deal. His new deal is agreed, and as part of that deal, we know from other sources that he's going to lose transfer power. He's going to have a lot less of a say on transfers, but we now also know that potentially an assistant will come in, with Ruud van Nistelrooy being the favourite for that. And me, if you've been following my channel, if you've been watching my last couple of videos, I'm a big fan of the idea of bringing Ruud van Nistelrooy to Manchester United, a guy that finished second at PSV, won 2 cups last season, experienced manager that speaks English, is a top striker that could really help Højlund in his development. We know how Van Persie helped Højlund in his development. I think he can bring a lot. I think he speaks well. I think when he was asked about Ten Hag, he did criticise Ten Hag's football for being a bit defensive and being a bit negative, which is what I like to see. But most importantly about Ruud van Nistelrooy, he puts a lot of faith in the youth, and I think he will further encourage Ten Hag to do that. 60% of the minutes played in Ruud van Nistelrooy's first 50 games at PSV were played by players under the age of 24. Xavi Simons was top goal scorer at age 19-20 in that season. You have to look at Braithwaite. He was a 19-year-old kid, and he coached Braithwaite and said, "You're going to play a lot." I really like the idea of Van Nistelrooy coming in. But listen, people, please do hit that like button, and of course subscribe down below if you're new. That is your quick 10-minute update. If there's any news that comes out tonight, I will be live. We'll do an update video tonight. Thank you for watching. Bye.